Schiff.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Patel, during your confirmation hearing, you made several important commitments. For instance, you told Senator Coons there will be no politicization at the FBI. There'll be no retributive actions taken by any FBI should I be confirmed as FBI director. So let me ask you very specifically, did you ever take any action to terminate or discipline an FBI agent or employee in whole or in part as retribution for being part of an investigation of Donald Trump or January 6th?
No.
You also committed, you assured Senator Blumenthal, all FBI employees will be protected against political retribution. So you're testifying today that you played no role in the firing of even a single FBI agent for political retribution.
None for political retribution.
And if any FBI agent said you did, they would be lying. Is that your testimony?
I'm only speaking to my actions. Everybody is allowed to make their allegations.
Oh, no, these are allegations against you.
And
so, Mr. Patel, if FBI, senior FBI agents or employees said that you were firing them for political retribution reasons because of the cases they were assigned, you're saying they would be lying. Is that
anyone that was
testimony?
terminated at the FBI was done so for failing to meet the standards, uphold their constitutional oath, and effectuate the mission.
Well, by meet the standards, are you talking about meet the standards of protecting the president under any circumstance?
No.
You also guaranteed Senator Blumenthal that every FBI employee will be held to the same, absolute same standard. No one will be terminated for case assignments. Are you testifying today that you never terminated anyone at the FBI in whole or in part because of a prior case assignment?
No one at the FBI is terminated for case assignments alone.
Well, I'm asking about you, Mr. Patel. Did you, in whole or in part, terminate anyone at the FBI because they worked on the Trump investigation or because they worked on January 6th?
No one at the FBI has been terminated for case assignments alone.
Okay, you're saying alone. Does that mean they were terminated in part because they were assigned to a January 6th case or assigned to the Mar-a-Lago case? You're being very precise here, Mr. Patel. You're saying alone. That means they were fired in part because they were assigned those cases. Is that your testimony?
Absolutely not. But if you want to keep putting words in my mouth,
then
go
let
ahead.
me ask you.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Okay, so this is the big one. Kash Patel comes out and says to Adam Schiff's face directly, oh, and it's great. You're going to love to see this. What we've all wanted to tell Adam Schiff ever since 2017, ever since the Russia hoax, ever since all that came out, we knew Schiff was lying, just trying to smear Donald Trump, trying to hamstring his administration. We wanted to tell Adam Schiff to F off. Why don't you get out here and go somewhere else with that BS nonsense we knew was a lie. Of course, we didn't know at that time, but we had a feeling he was lying. And, oh, come to find out, yes, they were all lying about all of that nonsense. But getting to this little section right quick before we get into the rest of that clip, you know, Senator Schiff should have dug a little bit deeper into that and asked, were any FBI employees fired due to cases assigned that their behavior ran afoul of FBI policy? That would have been a perfectly good question, but he doesn't want to dig deep on this. He wants his viral moment, if you will, and we're going to get that. So, y'all smash that like button for me. Subscribe if you're new around here. Share this video anywhere and everywhere you can. Click that join button. Sign up. Become a member. You know you want to. You got to do it. But without any further ado, folks, let's get into it.
Let's strip away the word alone. Did you terminate or participate in any discipline of any FBI employee in whole or in part because of their work on an investigation of Donald Trump or January 6th? Yes or no?
Any terminations at the FBI by employees.
No, I'm asking you a very specific question.
And I'm going to answer the question, but you don't like the answer because it's the truth and it guts
want
your
an answer to my
narrative.
question. I don't want an answer to someone else's question. So let me just be precise, and I ask for a yes or no answer. Did you ever terminate or discipline an FBI employee in whole or in part because they had been assigned or worked on an investigation of Donald Trump or January 6th?
FBI
yes or no?
employees are only terminated
Yes
if
or
they
no,
fail
Mr.
to
Patel?
uphold their oaths of
Yes or
office
no?
and duty.
You're not
at the
answering my
FBI
question.
I don't
not
have to
answering my
answer your question yes or no because you're setting up a trap so you can have a media
I'm
narrative.
not setting up a trap.
And I'm not giving it to you.
Unless it's true that you fired people.
People
in
have been
whole or in part
terminated at
because
the
they-
FBI who failed to uphold
You're
the
assigned
standards
to.
that the FBI requires them to uphold.
Did you tell anyone at the FBI that all FBI employees who they identified who had worked on cases against President Trump would be removed from their jobs? Did you tell that to someone at the FBI?
Say that I would remove people for case assignments?
That people that were identified as having worked on cases against President Trump would be removed from their jobs. Did you tell that to someone at the FBI?
People are not removed
Just
for case
answer my
assignments.
question. Just answer my question. Did you tell that to
People
someone?
are not removed for case
No,
assignments.
you're not answering my question.
And I would
Mr.
never
Patel,
tell anyone.
Did you tell someone at the FBI that FBI employees identified as having worked on cases against President Trump would be removed from their jobs? Yes or no, did you tell someone that?
I would never tell anyone at the FBI that they're being removed for basically their case assignments.
Okay, so anyone who had said that would be lying. Is that your testimony?
Anyone can say whatever they want.
No, I know, but you're saying they were a liar.
I'm telling you what I said.
Because this is in the complaint against you, Mr. Patel. So you're saying Mr. Driscoll and others are liars?
I'm not going to address the complaint in the ongoing
Okay, well then let me ask
litigation.
you, have you ever told anyone at the FBI that the FBI tried to put the president in jail and he hasn't forgotten it, and that your job depended on the removal of agents who worked on cases against the president?
No.
Did you ever tell anyone that?
No.
Okay. Did you ever tell anyone that you knew these summary firings you were undertaking were illegal, likely illegal, and that you would be sued and later deposed? Did you ever tell anyone that?
No firings at the FBI or terminations were done for anything other than justified
Did you ever
cause.
tell anyone that, Mr.
No,
Patel? Why don't you
no
answer my question?
terminations at the FBI were ever done in my tenure for anything other than failing
Did you
to
ever tell
uphold
anyone
their
that,
oath of
Mr. Patel? You
office
willing to
or
answer the
their-
question?
The FBI.
I guess
I
you're
have
not willing to
answered
answer the
it.
question. So let me move on. Let me
Repeatedly.
move on to the Epstein files. You said you're the most transparent FBI director in history, so I'm going to put you to the test. In 2024, you were asked by Glenn Beck about Epstein's Black Book. And you said, he asked, who has Jeffrey Epstein's Black Book? And you said, Black Book, FBI. And he said, but who? That is, I mean theirs. And you said, oh, that's under the direct control of the director of the FBI. That's what you said. Was that true, Mr. Patel?
I'll rely on you quoting it accurately. I did that a couple
Was
of
it
years
true
ago.
what you represented to Mr. Beck and the president's supporters out there, or were you lying?
No,
Was it true that the Black Book, Epstein's Black Book, was in the possession of the FBI director?
The Black Book was in the possession of the FBI.
Okay, so now that you're the FBI director, you have possession of the Black Book, right?
That index has been released.
So you have Jeffrey Epstein's Black Book?
What is known as Jeffrey Epstein's Black Book has been released by us.
And you released it. And let me follow up on Senator Kennedy's question, because he asked you, and I'll be very precise here. You've seen most of the files. Who, if anyone, did Epstein traffic these young women to besides himself? And you said, himself, there's no credible information, none. If there were, I would bring the case yesterday that he trafficked to other individuals. And Kennedy, the information we have, again, is limited. And Senator Kennedy said, the answer is no one. And you said, for the information we have. So is it your testimony today that in all the Epstein files, that Jeffrey Epstein trafficked no one to anyone but himself? Is that your testimony, Mr.
I never
Patel?
said Jeffrey Epstein didn't traffic anyone else.
Did he traffic any young woman to someone other than himself? That was Mr. Kennedy's question,
And I
Senator Kennedy's
said
question.
the information that 3 administrations have had access to
I'm
have
asking
made
you-
determinations that there are no investigative leads that were credible to prosecute and investigate any others. I'm specifically
I'm asking
stating
you whether
we
it's
were
your
working on.
testimony today.
Well, you just read
that
it, and I
I'm-
said it
I'm-
10 minutes ago, so let the record reflect my
I
testimony.
just want to make sure there's no misunderstanding, because there are victims like Virginia Guifer who have testified otherwise, who have said otherwise, and you're telling the American people today that the Epstein list is a single name and it's Jeffrey Epstein. That's what we're to believe?
That's not what I'm saying. That's what you're saying. And you can say whatever you want.
Let me ask you this. When Todd Blanche went to interview Ghislaine Maxwell, she said, but did I think these guys were coming for that? I really don't. If you met Epstein, there's no way that this cast of characters, of which it's extraordinary, and some are in your cabinet, who you value as your co-workers, and you know would be with him if he was a creep or because they wanted sexual favors. A man wants sexual favors, he will find out. They didn't have to come to Epstein for that. And the next question Todd Blanche, the president's former criminal defense lawyer, asked is not who in the cabinet, who are you referring to? His question is, so when's the last time you think you were with Mr. Epstein when he got a massage? So let me ask you, who are those cabinet members that Ghislaine Maxwell was referring to that were part of this cast of characters associated with Mr. Epstein? Who are they?
The Deputy Attorney General took the aggressive step that no one else did and interviewed Miss Maxwell for 2 days, and we released the entirety of that transcript.
Who are the cabinet members?
I do not have that transcript in front of me. You're picking it piecemeal. The American public can read the entirety of that.
One last question, because you clearly won't tell us the cabinet members associated with Mr. Epstein. But let me ask you one last question. And that is, right after she gives this testimony in front of an FBI agent, among others, she's transferred to a minimum security prison not suitable for a sex offender like herself. Who made that decision and why?
The Bureau of Prisons.
The Bureau of Decisions made it in
Prisons.
The Bureau of Prisons decided on their own, without any consultation with Blanche or anyone else, that they were going to suddenly, after this interview, completely unrelated to this interview, completely unrelated to anything she said, move her to a prison not suitable for a sex offender. You want the American people to believe that? Do you think they're stupid?
No. I think the American people believe the truth, that I'm not in the weeds on the everyday movements of
you're
inmates.
not in the weeds?
What I am doing is protecting this country, providing historic reform, and combating the weaponization of intelligence by the likes of you. And we have countlessly proven you to be a liar in Russiagate, in January 6th. You are the biggest fraud to ever sit in the United States Senate. You are a disgrace to this institution and an utter coward.
I'm not surprised.
I'm not surprised that you continue to lie from your perch and put on a show so you can go raise money for your charade. You are a political buffoon at best.
Well, you can take an internet troll.
Take it to the bank that the FBI is protecting this country and the state and citizens of the California. We are bringing historic reform. Point of order. But all you care about is a child sex predator that was prosecuted by a prior administration, and the Obama Justice Department and the Biden Justice Department did squat. And what did President Trump do? Bring new charges courageously. And what have we done?
Chairman,
you said I'm the most transparent FBI director in history. 33,000 pages of information to you. I challenge you to say anything credibly to the truth. Go ahead and run to the cameras where you want to go now.
Both of you be quiet.
Oh, lovely, lovely, lovely. Folks, I absolutely needed to hear that today. I at least need to know that somebody is on my side when it comes to Adam Schiff. How the hell does this guy get a quote-unquote promotion? Because it's considered a promotion to go from the House of Representatives up to the Senate, to the upper chamber, if you will. I think they get more money a year, too. But regardless out of all this, like Schiff, his face turned red. I love it. I just absolutely love it. He is a hack. An absolute lying scumbag hack of a man that I don't know how the hell he keeps getting elected back into office. Like, this dude is just a lying machine. Just nothing but lies come out of his mouth over and over and over and over and over again. Like, he was asking some of the most dumbest questions I think I've ever seen in my entire life. I think I've ever heard in my entire life. Like, what are we doing here? Like, why not dig a little bit deeper into some of these questions? Like, why don't you go ask Todd Blanche? Why don't you get the chairman to get Todd Blanche to come testify about what he told Ghislaine Maxwell? And how about let's pronounce their names correctly, like Ghislaine Maxwell or Virginia Giuffre? not Guifrey or whatever the hell he said. I don't know what the hell he was talking about. It was so weird. But when he's asking about, did Jeffrey Epstein traffic any girls to anybody else? Like, no, he didn't have to. I've already went over this. Like, that is a dumb question from a dumb guy outright. Was anybody else involved with the girls that were trafficked to Epstein's island? Did anybody have any interactions with any of those girls? That's the question you ask. Not, did Jeffrey Epstein traffic these girls to anybody else? Because he doesn't have to if they're there on the island and dudes are coming from all over the world to go to that island to get a quote-unquote massage. Like, no, you're not asking the right questions here, just like with the Black Book. Like, you don't ask about they've released the Black Book and Jeffrey Epstein's name was the only name on there. Like, yeah, freaking right. Who else was involved? Was there any credible evidence that anybody else, once again, like, they're going to say no, obviously, but ask the right questions. Don't ask these dumb, just ridiculous questions. And I love how he says, you think the American people are stupid? No. No, we think you're stupid, Senator Schiff. We don't think you're a very smart man. Otherwise, you would ask other questions, more pertinent questions, more substantive questions than going in on Epstein, right? Like, come on, you could have asked these questions when you were in the House, but did you guys even care the entire 4 years that Joe Biden was in office? You guys did not mention Epstein at all while we were over here railing about this. Like, hang on just a second. There's way too much going on with this for only Ghislaine Maxwell and Jeffrey Epstein to be the people that are in jail. Like, are you freaking kidding me with this? He had this entire island. He had this plane with this list of names that was quite long. You mean to tell me none of those people were involved with anything to do with those trafficked girls? I find that hard to believe, my dude. Like, seriously. And what's up with that? Like, I would ask Kash Patel, but, like, what's up with that painting of Bill Clinton in a dress? What is the deal with that? Why was that on the island, in the mansion on the island? What's going on with that? Was Bill Clinton involved with any of these women that were trafficked to that island? Like, come on, ask some good questions here. Like, what's the holdup? Well, we know what the holdup is. Technically, the courts are covering for people. That's what's going on with this. And that blew my freaking mind when I learned that. Yes, folks, in case you haven't heard that, the reason they can't just release all the files, and the reason that they kind of promised they were going to, and then got halted, and then just didn't do it out of nowhere, just suddenly crickets, because they can't. Court orders. They can't, as a matter of fact, they can't prosecute anybody that was involved with that either. That was part of the prosecutorial deal that was struck back in, I forget what year it was, right off the top of my head. But that was the deal struck, that they can't go after anybody that was involved with Jeffrey Epstein. I'm like, what? Are you freaking kidding me with this? Nobody can investigate these people for those crimes related to Epstein's Island. I'm like, what in the F is the deal with this? Yeah, Kash Patel said that in his, it was in his opening statement, as a matter of fact, for this hearing right here. But I love it. I just love all of this. Push back against this man. He calls him a political buffoon. That was just lovely. Like, none of this makes any sense, right? This whole Epstein thing, none of it makes any sense. We're not going to get any answers because the courts are covering for all of this. But I love what Kash Patel is doing right here. And to be honest with you, I am surprised it took that long, because the questions, you guys, if you've been watching all of these videos, because I've been running them in a series, pretty much how they came in on the committee hearing, you know, just Democrats. I haven't ran into Republicans yet, because that's just run-of-the-mill, just bland questions, if you will, no substance really, just, you know, how things going type of stuff. It's nonsense, but I've been running these in a series. So we're like, I don't know, 3.5 hours in at this point when we get to Senator Schiff, and I'm surprised it took Kash Patel that long to crack. You know, my hat's off to this dude, because he's been sitting there listening to the same questions over and over and over and over again. Like, go back through my videos if you want to see it. every single Democratic senator, they hardly had any different questions. It was all about Driscoll, all about Epstein, or something to that nature of people getting fired from the FBI. And I love it. Like, we can't fire deep state shills. Like, come on, we can't get rid of some of these establishment pricks that are actively undermining the Trump administration? Like, are you freaking kidding me with this? All of a sudden, it's the apocalypse because Kash Patel fired some people? You want to try to connect that to some sort of retributive actions or something like that? Like, come on, prove there was retribution here. I would like to see that. Give me some evidence. Go get you a whistleblower, as a matter of fact, and then come back and have them testify in front of the Judiciary Committee, and let's hear what they have to say. And then let's hear what Kash Patel has to say in response to that. Let's get some discovery. Let's get some litigation going on here. Let's actually get some evidence. But they don't want to do that, folks. They don't want to go that far. They don't want to take it down that path because they know that path is a dead end for Democrats. It's an absolute dead end. Every single question that they ask was a dead-end question that goes nowhere. And most of it is fake news coming from the corporate press narrative nonsense. They'll hear an unsubstantiated report from an anonymous source, and they'll present that to you like it's the gospel and ask ridiculous questions based upon that information. It's fascinating as hell, y'all. It really, really is. And it's all showmanship, is all it is. It's all performative. And what this does, this bifurcates the country even more. Because anybody that doesn't like the Trump administration or Kash Patel, they're going to take what the Democrats say and once again believe in that as if that's the gospel, as if that's the truth. And then try to go at one of these MAGA supporters or whatever and say, oh, well, this is what happened, blah, blah, blah. He's firing people for political retribution. Well, have you proven that yet? Can you prove any of that? No, you can't. That, as a matter of fact, to be fair, though, that's really hard to prove. That'd be extraordinarily hard to prove. He got fired for retribution. It's just, like, how are you going to prove that? Like, you can go and look through their actions, right? Look in their case file or whatever, and see if the actions they took was proportional to getting fired. For goodness sakes, we can do that and see, well, hang on. You know, they didn't really do anything to get fired. But in Driscoll's case, which has been the main topic of discussion with Democrats, we have plenty of testimony. We have plenty of evidence that this guy was insubordinate. We have public statements, him saying he's going to defy the Trump administration and undermine anything that Trump is doing because, oh, Trump's political retribution. Because they wanted some names. All right, they wanted the names of everybody that was involved with January 6th and the Russia collusion hoax. They wanted those names. They're going to look into their files and look into their actions and see if they've ever done anything bad. We'll put it that way. Ever done anything bad, then you're going to get fired because of it. Because, yeah, we know for a fact. Like, see, this is, if these Democrats were any good, they would ask. Like the people that you looked at, did you look into their actions? Did they violate any rules? Did they violate anybody's rights? Going after the January 6th stuff, right? Like all of that. Because we know for a fact the FBI arrested and imprisoned at least 1,000 people for January 6th that were just peaceful protesters. We know that. We know that for a fact. So anybody involved with arresting and imprisoning anybody for freedom of speech purposes, right? Just freedom of expression, go into a freaking protest, and that's it. They weren't violent. They didn't trespass or anything like that. There was a side of the Capitol that was open, they had the doors open, Capitol Police standing right there, waving people right on in. You can go look at the court cases. There were several cases dismissed because of that. Because they had video evidence that they could prove it. Now, how many of those people, they got tied up in all this, that, you know, it wasn't clear in the video that you could see their face, that actually went to prison? A lot, folks. There was a lot. So there was this one side that was open. There was no riot, none of that. People walked in the building, walked around with their little 99-cent flags or whatever, did their thing, did their tour, and walked right back out. Had no idea there was a whole riot on the other side of the Capitol. Like, once again, folks, we've said it 1,000 times before. If anybody was fighting with cops, destroying property, anything like that, involved with January 6th, they should be arrested and go to jail. Now, the reason I support Trump pardoning all of these people is because by the time Trump came back into office, any sort of action, like even fighting with a cop, right? How long do you think these people should serve prison time for fighting with a cop, right? It had been, 4 years at that point? You think that's long enough for just physical altercation with a police officer? Capitol police officer? 4 freaking years? Are you serious? Yes, pardon these people, let them out of jail, for goodness sakes. It's all nonsense, but, these Democrats, they don't want to be real. They don't want to be grounded, based in reality. They want to ask these ridiculous nonsense questions based on fake news. And that's all it is, folks. And that's what this entire hearing has been about. Fake news. At least from the Democrat side. That's all they want is just a viral clip. And they've got several. As a matter of fact, they got several out of this one. But I think I've rambled on for long enough. Y'all let me know what y'all think about all this down in the comments section. I just love this. Was the icing on the cake, if you will. We're going to move on. We're going to hit some greener pastures here, if you will. So, you guys, y'all don't forget to smash that like button for me. Subscribe if you're new around here and you want more videos like this, for goodness sakes. Share this video anywhere and everywhere you can. Click that join button. Sign up, become a member. That's the best way to help this channel expand and grow. So y'all do all that for me. And remember, folks, that God is always with us. And He loves each and every one of you out there. So y'all try to have a good day and stay legitical. Peace.